That's interesting that you called it the Zuki stuff, because I was going to ask you about the names, right? So when we teach, we tell people, look, we understand that it's sensual, that you guys call it sensual bachata. I prefer calling it Zouk bachata, because really those. Now, what can you tell us about the names, where they came from, your experience, and why you call it Zouk, or when did different names come about? Because you use traditional, you use moderna, and now you've used Zouk sensual.
So for me, when I started, it was very basic, very traditional. So if you go back to 2007, 2008, I made a bachata DVD.
Okay.
Instructional DVDs back then. I think the only one who had one out at that point was Tony Lara.
Okay.
But because I saw his and I thought it was a good idea, we got our ones out. But our twist was that the first dance I learned before salsa and bachata was lambada. Oh. And lambada is the precursor to zouk. So if you look at my videos from way back, all the body rolls and the muñecas, I was adding it back then. Oh, wow. And I have those on the DVDs. But at that point in time, we used to constantly be told, can't do that, can't do that, can't do that.
Really? Who was telling you that?
Oh, anyone in Australia who was trying to do bachata. Okay. Or also at that time, I was going to the LA Congress. I was coming over to the US a lot. Bachata wasn't big at all at that point.
This is the Albert Torres?
Albert Torres, yeah. But for me, the more we were told no, I was like, okay, I don't want.
Don't do that.
Yeah. But, I guess everything has its phase. And for me, I owe due respect to sensual style. I think it's great. And I try to keep up by learning as many styles of bachata and understanding why people do it. But my preference of that kind of style, I moved on from that after my initial stage where I was adding the lambada, which is the precursor to zouk, those steps. And then when everybody started doing it through Bachata Sensual, which started in Spain with Coqui and Judith, then I moved away from it a little bit.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So when you're in LA, was there a bachata room? Did they play bachata music?
No,
or was it just
it wasn't. It was all salsa.
Okay. So you didn't get an opportunity to take any classes there or dancing in bachata there when you would go to LA?
In fact, if I'm not mistaken, there wouldn't have been any bachata workshops at that point in time.
Got it. And when you were, so Juan was giving you the first bachata basics, right? Was he giving you any feedback? Were you guys collaborating together in any way on developing your own style, like for the DVDs? Was that something you just kind of did on your own?
No, I mean, because I was already traveling a lot for salsa, he showed me the basics and stuff, and then I just started adding the elements that I knew, being lambada and salsa.
Okay.
He was already doing turn patterns and stuff anyway, from what he brought from Chicago, and he went more towards the Spanish style of the cross step and what was called Spanish style at that point.
Got it.
By people like Inaki. And then he kind of penned the name Bachata Moderna, and he used that as a means to get his name out and his style. So he went that way, and I stuck to my salsa, lambada kind of fusion with the bachata.
Nice.
Yeah.